Hey everyone, I'm Meredith, and welcome to the first video of a 5-part series on teaching kids responsibility. And a great definition of responsibility is that you have control over something, you're accountable to it, you have the right to decide, and ultimately, if it goes wrong, you're to blame. It's yours. And here's the thing about teaching kids responsibility. Very often, as parents, we struggle to do that because we want our kids to demonstrate that they are already responsible before we let them be responsible for something. But the truth is, responsibility is a life skill. It's something that we all have to learn along the way, and it's our job as parents to teach our kids responsibility. So, in many ways, they need responsibility far more than they deserve responsibility. And we're gonna, over the next 5 videos, really unpack the challenges of teaching kids responsibility, how we can respond, the life lessons they can learn as we do that. And I'm going to use a real life example from my own parenting. I have a daughter named Imogen, and she's 9. And very recently, we've been working on responsibility with cleaning her room, with doing laundry, and in particular with homework. And so I'm going to use homework as our main example. So when it comes to responsibility, really it's something that our kids both need to demonstrate that they deserve, but also it's something that we need to give them a runway to learn both how to be responsible and what happens when they are irresponsible. So I'm going to give you in this video 3 things to keep in mind as you decide to teach your kids responsibility. And that can be, across all ages, right? So kids who are little, part of responsibility might be learning how to pick up their toys, put things away, be responsible for, say they have a favorite stuffed animal or a blanket, that it's their responsibility to find it, even getting snack out, things like that, to school age kids around homework and picking up their room, to high schoolers where it comes to finances, big things like cars and purchases and college and all of that. So it's all about the same. It's teaching our kids that they have decision rights in their life, but they're also then responsible for whatever the outcome is of their decision. So, 3 things to keep in mind as you are, whatever it is that you decide to help your kids learn responsibility around. And the first one is to clarify expectations. So, when it comes to homework with Imogen, part of what we've done is her homework, the way that it works in her school, is that it's due on Thursday. She gets a packet on Friday and it's due on Thursday. So we made sure, do you know when your homework is due? And we have we call it mission control. We have 2 big whiteboard calendars, and we had her put on there on Thursdays, homework is due. So she knows when it's due. When it comes to cleaning her room, we've made it, the expectation is by Sunday before dinner time. So before 5 p.m., your room needs to be picked up. You can decide how you want to do that. If you want to pick it up as you go throughout the week, or if you want to do a mad dash on Sunday afternoon, that's up to you. But here's the expectation. So to know what the expectation is and make sure that your children know, whether that's dishes are put away, homework is complete, like when it's due for school, that things need to be picked up at the end of the day, whatever that is, clarify the expectation. And it's not a bad idea to write that down somewhere so that they know, whether it's an agreement on paper, whether it's on a whiteboard, whatever that is, clarify your expectations. That's the first step to teaching responsibility. The second step to teaching responsibility is to set boundaries. And that's really about letting them know what you will help with and what you won't. What does responsibility look like? So for us with homework, first the expectation the school has set, it's due on Thursday, and then setting boundaries. I am not good in the evening. I'm a morning person, and I don't want to do homework in the evening. And so we set up times when we are available to help with homework. So I'm available Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday between 7 and 8 a.m. And I'm available on Saturday and Sunday during the day before dinner time. Those are the times that are set. I'm not available on Thursday morning, the day that it's due, because I know that I won't be my best self if she's stressed out and I'm stressed out. And so I've set up, here's the boundaries, and you're free to operate within those or not. That's up to you. So for you, it could be, I'm willing to help pick up between this time and this time. I'm willing to read stories between this time and this time, whatever that is. Whatever it is that you're trying, if it's using the car, here's the boundaries of when you can use the car, how you can ask to use the car. If it's teaching them to be responsible, even for getting themselves dressed, here are the boundaries. You can wear winter clothes in the winter and summer clothes in the summer. But know what boundaries really are around what you're willing to do without being resentful. So how are you willing to help? And making that really clear. Again, we've written those up on our whiteboard, on our calendar. Like, these are the times where mom and dad are available to help with homework. You're welcome to ask us during those times, but outside of those times, we are not available to help with homework. So you have to decide that for yourself. And the last one is making a plan. And really, the biggest thing with making a plan is you want to give that over to your children as much as possible. So with Imogen right now, because you're not teaching them responsibility if you're reminding and coaxing and nagging. That's not handing it over to them and saying, this is your work, not my work. So what we've done is I ask her at the beginning of the week, I say, so what is your homework plan this week? When you know the expectations and you know the boundaries, when is your plan? What's your plan to get your homework done? And so you can do that with, what's your plan to get your toys picked up? What's your plan to get your laundry done? What's your plan to communicate your work schedule? Whatever that is, you hand it back to them. And would you like help making a plan? And they might say no, which Imogen has, at least in the beginning. And so you are probably wondering, well, what happens when they don't live up to their plan, when they violate the boundary, or they forget the expectation? Well, we're going to deal with that tomorrow in our next video on what do we do when inevitably they fail to live up to the responsibility. But the very first step is beginning to clarify, this is your work, this is your responsibility. I am entrusting this to you. You have the right to decide. You have agency. And the reality is, if it goes wrong, it's on you. So today, I just want you to think through, where's an area that you could reasonably help your child learn responsibility? Thinking about their age, whether it's around chores, whether it's around getting ready for school, it's homework, it's cooking dinner, it's cleaning up. And do those three things. First, clarify the expectation. 2, make sure that you set appropriate boundaries and that they're very clear for them. And 3, let them make a plan. And as long as they've made a plan, just step back. You might be like, it's a terrible plan. Don't worry, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So stay tuned for part 2 of how to teach your kids responsibility.